So, so one of the greatest anti-imperialist leaders, former Malaysian Prime Minister, Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, who was Prime Minister of Malaysia from 1981 to 2003, and then again from 2018 to 2020, spoke out about the Russia-Ukraine war, saying that it all has to do with the Europeans' love for war, hegemony, and dominance. And as an American, I say that's 100% accurate. And meanwhile, the 3,350th country has interfered with Nicaragua for the 3,350th time. Well, actually, no, that probably would be the U.S., or maybe just the world combined. What's up, everybody? It's Zach The Celtics Guy here, back with another video, here with another global report with Zach The Celtics Guy, and here to talk about two topics of discussion for today. So, why don't we just get into the elephant in the room here? I just want to ask the age-old question. How many more people are going to disappoint me? I love to ask that question. I ask that question every fucking day because people are just seeming to disappoint me. Not any of you guys watching, because I fucking love you guys. I'm talking about just people out there in the public sphere. Colombia's president that was elected to be a leftist and who took over after the right-wing U.S.-backed tyrannical leader by the name of Ivan Duque was in there. This person that was in there this person that was elected to be a leftist. And what does this guy do? This guy turns against lefty views. Gustavo Petro was elected on a platform to move away from this hegemonistic imperialist ways of doing things, like a U.S.-backed puppet, which is like what the U.S. has been fucking propping up all throughout South America for generation upon generation. So what does Gustavo Petro do? He's now interfering with Nicaragua. Interfering by words. And even when you put out inflammatory statements, you are by default interfering with that country because you're speaking on an issue that you know nothing about, and you are parroting the same talking points that are coming from the U.S. and are coming from the EU and are coming from other U.S.-backed puppet states in the region like Costa Rica and so forth. Colombia slams Nicaragua's Ortega over the expulsion of critics. Okay, so this whole thing here, apparently that Nicaraguan President Daniel Ortega has expelled hundreds of prominent critics earlier this month and called for international monitoring and a criminal inquiry and blah 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 blah. You know, Colombia's leftist government called that, said that, saying that, oh, there needs to be an international monitoring and criminal inquiry. You don't think Nicaragua is already under enough of this? They're already under U.S. hegemony because the U.S., I don't know, like I said, for the 3,350th time, it seems like that's the amount of times that the U.S. has interfered with Nicaragua, from arming the Contras against the Sandinistas, the sanctions, Trump and John Bolton labeling Nicaragua the fucking trochlear of tyranny and all these stupid fucking retarded names, because God forbid they have a government, a style of government that fucking Uncle Sam and the colonialist EU doesn't like. Oh, boo fucking who, you know? Oh, boo fucking who, that's what they have. Mind your fucking goddamn fucking business. And this includes you, President Petro, that I am so disappointed in. You were supposed to be elected on a platform to be against war and interference and all that. It's like you're like the Colombian Obama. It's like remember when Obama was elected after 8 disastrous years of George W. Bush, literally America's worst war criminal in the 20th century, in the 21st century. And then Obama got in there, and he was a big disappointment. You know, he continues the wars and all that other type of shit. So what is this guy? This guy's doing the same. This guy is doing basically the same thing, making the same type of statements that you would hear from a State Department press conference. That's what you're hearing from this guy. This guy is doing that. And it's like, what the fuck? The criticism by the government of Colombia's president, Gustavo Petro, is the latest from the region's most leftist governments, after Chile slammed the ejection of more than 200 political prisoners to the United States that Ortega has called criminal mercenaries. How do you know that they were political prisoners? They're not political prisoners. They're not. Rioting and looting and all that other type of stuff like what those people were doing in 2018, 2019, those CIA-backed coup mongers and rioters were doing in Nicaragua. There were some peaceful protests, sure, maybe, but I guarantee you those ones that were locked up under Daniel Ortega, who's been president since 2006, were not political prisoners. And if these people were expelled, they were expelled for a reason. They were expelled because it's like, okay, we know who's a CIA asset here. You. It's like we know who's an asset here. We know who's an asset. We know who's an asset here. We'll just pick it out. We'll just pick it up. We'll just pick it up and just say you. Get the fuck out.
Fuck me. You. You and you. You and you. You and you. You. And fucking you! All of you! Useless fucking pieces of shit! Get the fuck out of here!
That's basically what Daniel Ortega said to all of them. Get the fuck out of here. And he's right to do that. And it doesn't matter what Daniel Ortega is trying to do. Daniel Ortega is running his country, and he's presiding over the safest country in Central America. He's presiding over one of the most stable, peaceful countries in that region. You know, Nicaragua's been battling, that they've been battling all sorts of issues, from colonialism, U.S. interference, and all that. So Daniel Ortega's government, Daniel Ortega's style of system in Nicaragua is entirely independent, and they're an independent nation, and the imperialists in the U.S. government and the colonialists in the EU don't like that. Oh, boo fucking who. So no, Colombia and Chile, very disappointing. Very, very, very disappointing. Oh my God. Daniel Ortega's Sandinista movement toppled the right-wing Somoza family dynasty in 1979, but in recent years, many of Ortega's former rebel allies have been jailed in an unprecedented crackdown on dissent in the Central American country. Bullshit. They were not political prisoners. The only crime that has been to defend democracy, the right to criticize, and universal human rights. Again, rioting and civil unrest and being funded by the CIA has little to nothing to do with free speech. In fact, it has nothing to do with free speech at all. And yes, I am blaming the CIA for this. I am blaming Mossad for this. I am blaming the EU for this. And I am also blaming the fumbling leftist president in Colombia, that is repeating right-wing talking points on Nicaragua. Yeah, I'm talking about you. You're fumbling on this, and you're talking about a situation that you know nothing about, and it's not your business. and you're interfering into their business for the 10,000th time, which is what almost every country outside of Nicaragua's borders, besides the countries in the global south, have been doing. This is exactly what they do. And that brings me to my next point. This is what Dr. Mahathir Mohamad of Malaysia has said. He says that the Russia-Ukraine war is caused by Europeans' love for war, of hegemony, and of dominance. Yeah, he's 100% right. He's 100% right on that. You know, he is. He most absolutely is. Because, you know, the Ukrainian Azov Battalion, the neo-Nazis fighting against Russia, the NATO coup there in 2014, while the Ukrainian Nazis were targeting Russians in the Donbass, and those Europeans and these European governments that are colonialist governments that are basically sock puppets for the fucking State Department are bitching and moaning in Nicaragua and these other countries that have nothing to do with them, and it's none of their fucking business. So no, Dr. Mahathir is 100% right, and Daniel Ortega is 100% right. And as an American, I stand with those countries, and I don't believe anything that our bullshit imperialist government, you know, I especially do not believe anything that comes out of the mouth of Joe Biden, who cannot even form a fucking coherent sentence. So no, excuse me. It's like, excuse me. Bernie Sanders, excuse me for not believing it. It's like, oh my God, excuse me for not believing it. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry for not believing. Oh, I'm sorry for not believing what Joe Biden says and what he puts out there and what Joe Biden's fucking sock puppets put out there. Oh, excuse me. Oh, I'm sorry. It'll never happen again. Yeah, bullshit. Because you know what a real leftist, if President Petro in Colombia was a real leftist, you know what he would say? He would say the same thing that a real leftist, for example, take Mexico's president, Andrés Manuel López Obrador. He has spoken out against the American fucking genocidal, disgusting blockade on Cuba that's been on there for more than half a century. He's spoken out against that. He has spoken out against U.S. intervention in Latin America. He has spoken out against all that stuff. So he has come out and he has spoken out. Why aren't you doing the same thing? Oh, that's right, because you're not a real leftist. If you're a real leftist, and look, you don't even have to be a leftist to be anti-intervention. Like, you can be in the center. You can be like one of my closest friends, Nicholas Blythe, one of my greatest friends on this website and in general and on this channel. He's in the center, maybe center right, and is massively anti-intervention. Or Forbidden Giorno, mostly right-wing, massively anti-intervention. But for this guy to sit here and act like he's a leftist, but yet he's repeating State Department talking points, that doesn't make you anti-intervention. Not only does it not make you a leftist, it doesn't make you anti-intervention. Because you'd either stay neutral on it and say, you know, we have some concerns about this, or this. If you're just voicing concern, that's okay. But why are you talking about it? Why are you condemning something that isn't even true? Why are you condemning Nicaragua for something that isn't even true? You're condemning Nicaragua for something that they're not even doing. And oh my God, don't even tell me about the fucking book, Human Rights, and telling me all about the human rights and telling me all about the human rights and everything. So, like, why would I believe them? Why would I believe them? Or, like, why would I believe the Anti-Defamation League? Why would I believe them? They're biased in favor of Israel. Why would I believe any of these? It's like, why would I believe any of these? It's like you fucking morons might as well just take your fucking crayons and just fucking doodle on your fucking paper like, You'd be doing that, and it would be more believable than anything these fucking Western human rights organizations say. After all, they're the ones that repeat Zionist talking points and American State Department talking points. Who does this remind me of? It reminds me of the young turds who say that they're anti-intervention, but they repeat the same talking points that the CIA repeats on Syria, like about the chemical hoax and the fucking slander about Bashar al-Assad of Syria. But yeah, no, we're supposed to believe the words of President Joe Brandon.
I must be right. I must be right. I must be right.
We're supposed to believe this guy.
I must be right.
Correction. My butt's been wiped by Zelensky. Yeah, we're supposed to believe that guy. Come on now. Fucking come on now. So now, you know who's a real leader? Dr. Mahathir of Malaysia. Daniel Ortega in Nicaragua. They are the real leaders. They are the real leaders of the global south. They're the real leaders. Look at the way, look at the way that all these countries outside of NATO are. They're neutral. Look at them. Look at them, for example. It makes perfect sense. You know that Nicaragua has been labeled the happiest country? Happiest country in the happiness index. They have been labeled the happiest. Global ranking of happiness. 73% of residents in this country say they are always at peace. And it is Nicaragua. And when you even have CNBC saying this, you know it. You know that something is off about it. If even they're saying it, then you know that something's up here. So now, Nicaragua is an independent country, and every country needs to butt the fuck out. The U.S. needs to butt out. Israel needs to butt out. The EU needs to butt out. And everybody outside of their borders needs to butt out. Needs to butt the fuck out. Because Nicaragua is an independent country with an independent people that want to be independent and free from foreign interference. And they want to live their life just like everybody else does in the world. So mind your fucking goddamn business. And I, as an American, I stand against my government's interference in these countries, and I don't care who likes that or not. You can say I'm unpatriotic, you can say I'm a communist or a tanky, you can say any of this shit that you want to say. It doesn't make it true. But you can support your country, but you can hate your government. That's exactly what I do, and that's what all my fans and my friends here on this channel do. And we're going to continue to do exactly that. So, while Dr. Mahathir is calling out the EU for this bullshit with regards to Russia and Ukraine, we now got more interference in Nicaragua. Interference in Nicaragua? I know you're shocked. Because who hasn't interfered in Nicaragua? The U.S. and its puppets? Color me surprised. But no, it's ridiculous. And I call for it to end and for me to say enough is enough. U.S. out of Latin America, U.S. butt out. That's what I say as an American. U.S. butt out. And fix our problems at home. Fix our own problems. Improve our own lives first. And not interfere in these countries that have nothing to do with anybody besides them. They have a government that we don't like, and that's all it is. That's exactly what it is. Don't tell me otherwise, because we all know that that's what it is. And that's exactly what history has shown about U.S. foreign policy. And if you don't know your history, you're bound to repeat it. And my butt's been wiped is definitely gonna repeat it.
Immigration!
I must be right. I must be right.
That needs no setup. That's about it for now. Thank you to everybody who stopped by and listened to this. Thank you for watching this Global Report with Zach the Celtics Guy. I appreciate it. And I will see you all in the next video. And I have a legal lesson video that's coming up soon. Look out for that. More stuff on the way. This is Zach the Celtics Guy saying thank you for watching. And I'll see you in the next video, including my stream tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Look out for it. We'll be doing an hour of worldly reports and then an hour of game talk and probably doing some streaming games. We can talk about movies and shows and all that. And we got amazing people on my Discord where I talk with Adam, I talk with Joey, I talk with Forbidden Giorno, Nicholas Blythe. I talk with all my homies. I love you guys. Thank you for the support. I appreciate it. And thank you to everybody who subscribed. And I will see you all in the next one. Stay tuned for more stuff on the way. Stay tuned, stay safe, stay classy, and I'll see you next time. Peace, and have a good day, and keep fighting, and keep on rocking. Have a good one. Peace out.